There's a storm brewing in New York City, and it is wearing the colors of the Philippines. If you haven't been paying attention to the tennis world over the last few weeks, you have missed one of the most explosive, unprecedented rises in modern sports history. A 21-year-old phenom has officially put the entire WTA Tour on notice. Her name? Alexandra Eala. Just days ago, Eala shocked the world by lifting her maiden tour-level title at the Mubadala DC Open. She didn't just win, she made a resounding statement. It is the kind of statement that echoes through the locker rooms and forces the absolute elite to turn their heads. Eala has rocketed to a career-high world ranking of number 20, shattering records and becoming the highest-ranked Filipino player in the history of the sport. But that's only the beginning, because as the tennis universe descends upon the blistering hard courts of Flushing Meadows for the 2026 U.S. Open, the stakes have reached a fever pitch. Eala didn't just arrive in New York. She arrived to an absolute frenzy. Escorted by heavy security to safely navigate the swarms of adoring fans, it's clear that Eala has transcended the sport. She is no longer just a rising star. She is a global icon in the making, carrying the weight and the hopes of an entire nation on her shoulders. However, what happens next is what truly has the tennis world holding its breath. Eala's historic momentum has put her on a direct collision course with the most intimidating force in women's tennis today. World number 1, Aryna Sabalenka. Sabalenka is entering the U.S. Open with a fierce point to prove. Despite maintaining the top ranking throughout the year, the Belarusian powerhouse is desperately hungry for a Grand Slam singles title this season. She is even partnering with 24-time Grand Slam champion Novak Djokovic in a blockbuster mixed doubles pairing just to set a ruthless, winning tone before the singles draw even begins. Sabalenka is aggressive, unyielding, and historically dominant on these fast American hard courts. So why did the prospect of this specific clash become the most anticipated storyline of the tournament? In this video, we're going to break down exactly how Alexandra Eala shocked the tennis world, the tactical evolution that turned her into a legitimate top 20 threat, and why Aryna Sabalenka might just be the next giant to fall at the U.S. Open. We will examine the crucial details few people noticed during Eala's recent title run, and what it means for her highly anticipated campaign under the bright lights of Arthur Ashe Stadium. Is the 21-year-old phenom truly ready to take down the world number 1 on the biggest stage of them all? Or will Sabalenka's sheer, overwhelming power halt the Filipina's fairy tale momentum in its tracks? The real turning point is approaching fast. To understand why this moment feels so seismic, we have to look back at the incredible journey that brought Alexandra Eala to this exact tipping point. For years, the tennis world knew her as a prodigy. Training out of the famed Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, Eala honed her craft under the watchful eye of Grand Slam royalty. The tennis world caught its first massive glimpse of her potential back in 2022 when she captured the U.S. Open Junior Singles crown. Even then, the poise, the left-handed heavy topspin, and the icy composure in high-pressure moments hinted at something special. Yet, transitioning from junior dominance to the unforgiving grind of the senior WTA Tour is notoriously treacherous. Many players spend years wandering through qualifying draws and lower-tier events, try to adapt to the sheer physical brutality of professional game. Eala chose to take the harder road, relentlessly developing her game, rebuilding her serve, and adding layer upon layer of physical stamina. Then came the Mubadala DC Open. What unfolded in Washington, D.C. was nothing short of a masterclass in modern, fearless tennis. Throughout the tournament, Eala wasn't simply surviving matches. She was actively dictating terms against some of the tour's most seasoned competitors. Round after round, she dismantled opponents with a brand of aggressive, baseline geometry that looked years ahead of her age. Few people noticed one crucial detail during that historic week: the dramatic evolution of Eala's defensive transition into offense. Historically, younger players get pushed far behind the baseline against heavy hitters, scrambling for answers. In DC, whenever Eala was pulled wide, she didn't just throw up a defensive loop. Instead, utilizing her vicious left-handed angles, she redirected the pace flat down the line, catching opponents off guard and immediately resetting the rally on her terms. The real turning point came in the championship match. Facing immense pressure with the eyes of millions watching across the globe, Eala faced break points late in the deciding set. A lesser player might have tightened up, played safe, and hoped for an opponent's error. Eala did the exact opposite. She stepped inside the baseline, attacked the second serve with venom, and fired an untouchable cross-court winner that brought the entire stadium to its feet. Minutes later, she fell to her knees, tears in her eyes, holding her first WTA title. In that single moment, she redefined Philippine tennis forever, securing that coveted spot inside the world's top 20. But winning a tour-level title is one thing. Bringing that momentum into the pressure cooker in New York City is an entirely different beast. Flushing Meadows is loud, chaotic, and completely unforgiving. The atmosphere of the U.S. Open has swallowed countless rising stars whole. Yet, when Eala arrived for her practice sessions this week, the scene looked less like a standard tennis warm-up and more like an international rock concert. Thousands of Filipino fans, draped in flags and chanting her name, packed the outer courts. The energy was so overwhelming that tournament organizers had to assign dedicated security escorts just to navigate her from the locker rooms to the practice courts. Instead of shrinking from the spotlight, Eala has embraced it with genuine warmth and striking maturity. However, lurking on the other side of the draw is the ultimate final boss of women's hard-court tennis, Aryna Sabalenka. Sabalenka's dominance on hard courts over recent seasons has been nothing short of terrifying. Armed with what is arguably the most destructive forehand on tour and a first serve that consistently clocks near the 120 miles per hour mark, the Belarusian operates like an unstoppable force of nature. Yet, Sabalenka enters this year's U.S. Open with immense psychological pressure weighing on her shoulders. Despite holding the world #1 ranking, she knows that modern tennis legacy is judged strictly by Grand Slam silverware. She wants to dominate every single facet of this tournament, a desire so intense that she entered the mixed doubles draw alongside Novak Djokovic, seeking to sharpen her competitive edge and establish total authority from day one. When you break down the tactical matchup, the contrast in styles is breathtaking. Sabalenka wants to overpower you in 3 shots or less. She stands tall, bludgeons the ball flat, and forces opponents into pure survival mode. Eala, by contrast, is a tactical chameleon. As a lefty, her natural slice serve swings wide on the ad court, pulling right-handed power hitters like Sabalenka completely out of their comfort zone and opening up the entire court for a down-the-line winner. If Sabalenka's timing is off by even a fraction of a second, Eala's ability to take the ball on the rise could turn the world #1's own crushing power right back against her. So what does the deep analytical data say about this potential blockbuster clash? To truly understand why the tennis analytics community is buzzing about this potential matchup, you have to look beyond raw power and dive deep into the tactical geometry of modern hardcourt tennis. On paper, Aryna Sabalenka holds a clear edge in sheer velocity. Her ground stroke speed routinely rivals top players on the ADP Tour, and when her timing is dialed in, she can blast anyone off the court. But tennis is never played on paper. It is a game of angles, timing, and recovery, and that is where Alexandra Eala presents a uniquely dangerous puzzle for the world #1. First and foremost is the left-handed factor. In modern tennis, right-handed players spend over 90% of their careers hitting against right-handed spin patterns. When they face an elite lefty like Eala, the ball rotation and trajectory reverse completely. Eala's cross-court forehand naturally spins away from a right-hander's backhand, forcing opponents into uncomfortable hitting zones high above their shoulders. For Sabalenka, whose backhand is naturally flat and driven with linear power, balls kicking sharply upward into her strike zone can severely disrupt her rhythm. If Sabalenka is forced to hit on the stretch or reach up to take the ball at shoulder height, her unforced error count tends to climb dramatically. Few people notice one crucial detail during Eala's training under Rafael Nadal's mentorship in Manacor. She wasn't just taught how to hit a heavy ball. She was taught how to construct points like a grandmaster playing speed chess. Eala excels at changing the height and depth of the rally. Instead of trading flat, 20-shot firefights where Sabalenka's brute strength holds the advantage, Eala's path to victory lies in variety. By using deep, looping topspin to push the world #1 behind the baseline, followed by rapid, skidding backhand slices low to the court, Eala can deny Sabalenka the clean, waist-height strike she thrives on. However, the real battleground will be decided on the return of serve. Sabalenka possesses one of the most feared deliveries in the sport, but it comes with high risk margins. If Sabalenka's first serve percentage dips into the lower 50s, her second serve becomes vulnerable to aggressive positioning. During her championship run in Washington, Eala demonstrated phenomenal anticipation, stepping inside the baseline to cut off second serves before the kick could fully develop. If Eala can consistently put Sabalenka's second delivery under immediate duress, she can shift the psychological balance of the entire match. Yet, this tactical clash also reveals significant vulnerabilities for the young Filipina that cannot be overlooked. While Eala's court coverage and movement have improved by leaps and bounds, she has rarely faced sustained baseline rattling pace of Sabalenka's magnitude across a grueling 2-hour Grand Slam battle. When Sabalenka connects cleanly, the ball arrives with a heaviness that tests your forearm strength, your core stability, and your defensive stamina on every single stroke. If Eala is pushed too far back into the deep corners of Arthur Ashe Stadium, the physical toll could gradually deplete her legs in the deciding sets. Then, there is the colossal mental dimension. For Sabalenka, the pressure at Flushing Meadows is suffocating. As the world number one and a perennial favorite, anything less than holding the championship trophy is viewed as a missed opportunity. That level of expectation can either forge an unplayable champion or trigger the high-risk, high-error moments that have occasionally haunted her deepest Grand Slam runs. Eala, on the other hand, is playing with absolute freedom. At 21 years old, having already broken historic ground for her country and surged into the top 20, she enters the arena with house money. She has the uninhibited energy of a challenger who has nothing to lose and a historic legacy to gain. That absence of fear makes any rising talent extraordinarily dangerous on a night under New York lights. The career implications of this showdown could not be higher. For Eala, a marquee victory over the world number one at a Grand Slam would instantly validate her as a legitimate Grand Slam contender and a generational force in Asian sports. For Sabalenka, neutralizing a red-hot rising star would send an emphatic reminder to the entire locker room that the throne at the top of women's tennis is strictly occupied. So what does this historic moment mean for the bigger picture of tennis? And what will it take for Alexandra Eala to finish writing this unforgettable chapter? Step back from the tactical breakdowns and the baseline numbers, and you realize this tournament represents something far greater than just another Grand Slam draw. We are witnessing a profound cultural shift in global tennis. For decades, the path to the pinnacle of women's tennis flowed almost exclusively through traditional powerhouses in North America and Europe. While legends like Li Na and Naomi Osaka proved that Asian tennis could conquer the highest peaks in the sport, Southeast Asia had long been waiting for its defining superstar. Alexandra Eala is answering that call in real time. Every time she steps onto court, she isn't just representing herself or her coaching team. She is carrying the pride of more than 100 million Filipinos across the globe. From Manila to the massive diaspora packing the stands in Queens, her matches have transformed into electric, carnival-like celebrations of cultural identity and athletic excellence. Young girls across Southeast Asia are picking up rackets today because they watched a 21-year-old from Quezon City refuse to back down against the best athletes on earth. That kind of purpose can be an extraordinary catalyst. It turns ordinary resilience into an unshakable resolve. Yet, as the lights shine bright over Arthur Ashe Stadium, the immediate future demands cold-blooded execution. To dethrone Aryna Sabalenka, Eala will have to play the cleanest, most composed match of her young career. Sabalenka is not a champion by accident. She has weathered the stormiest moments of Grand Slam tennis, stared down match points, and emerged with a trophy in hand. She knows how to manage the adrenaline of New York, and she knows how to punish the slightest hesitation. The real question heading into this seismic clash isn't just whether Alexandra Eala has the weapons to compete. She has already proven she does. The question is whether she can maintain that fearless clarity when the stadium is shaking, the rallies turn brutal, and the world number one begins firing 150-mile-per-hour artillery across the net. If Eala manages to pull off the unthinkable, it won't merely be the upset of the tournament. It will be the arrival of a new era, an undeniable proclamation that the next generation of tennis royalty has officially landed. And even if Sabalenka's championship pedigree prevails, one truth has already been written in stone across the courts of Washington and New York. Alexandra Eala is no longer the future of women's tennis. She is the present. The stage is set. The lights are blazing. The world is watching. Can Alexandra Eala complete one of the greatest underdog runs in modern U.S. Open history? Or will Aryna Sabalenka prove once again why she sits on the throne of the tennis world? Drop your predictions in the comments below. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all notifications so you never miss our breaking analysis as this historic story unfolds under the lights of Flushing Meadows. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you at match point.